G'day, you legends. Thanks for tuning into that last episode. That dive out of Auckland was a lot of fun. It's time to back the bags now. We're going to travel from Auckland to the Coromandel today. We're going to be there for 10 days and we're going to get straight into some absolutely awesome diving. Let's do it. So one of the cool things about this particular area is that everyone launches their boat with a tractor on the beach. There's no boat ramp, it's just how you do it around here. Today's mission is led by Trev, and he's taking Catherine and I over to the Mercury Islands. The Mercs is an area that Catherine and her family have been coming to pretty much every single year. They've really talked it up, so I can't wait to get over there and experience it. Trevor said the plan was to stop halfway and wet a line for some snapper. Once we got some snapper into the chili bin, then we kick on to the Mercs. And once we got to the Mercs, then he was going to drop me in for a dive. It didn't take long at all before we had 3 snapper that went into the chili bin between Trev and I. It's good fun fishing snapper on soft plastics.
Snapper. It's a legal one, I think.
Oh yeah, nice.
Fish, mate. Fish on the board.
Well, now that there was a few fish in the boat, Trev was happy to kick on over to the Mercs. And unfortunately in the open water, it was a bit rough. Once we got closer towards Mercury Island and the water was a bit more calmer, that's when Catherine pushed her dad out of the road and she became the new skipper. And that's when I saw Mercury Islands for the first time. And wow. I couldn't believe it. Second time diving off Trev's boat, and second time I've dived right on top of kingies. So Trevor's dropped me off to a Pinnacle that's a couple hundred metres offshore here from the Mercury Islands, and it looked fishy. I couldn't wait to just dive down and see what was around. And that's exactly what I did. Within the Rat Kings, there was some legal kingies getting around as well. But I already had a fridge full of kingies and I wasn't going to take another one. There were a few skittish snapper getting around. So I decided to try a few ledges on the Pinnacle, hoping that there was a snapper on the other side. Unfortunately, it didn't have any luck. The current was absolutely pumping and there was only kingies around, so we decided to go in for a bit of a shore dive.
Beautiful here, eh? Thank you.
There's just something about jumping out of a boat and landing on fish. As soon as I jumped in, I saw a king wrasse right below me. They're pretty rare in Sydney. I've seen my mate shoot one, but I've never had the opportunity, and now is the time. I didn't even have the chance to gut this king wrasse before I spotted another one. So while juggling the first king wrasse, I started to load my gun, hoping that the second king wrasse would stick around. It didn't really feel fair when it turned around and it headed straight for me, but I've heard these king wrasse taste delicious and I was there to get a feed.
King wrasse.
Is it? I've never
Had
heard
it
of it.
before, Trev? Real white flesh on it. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I kept trying a few ledges looking for some snapper. I really wanted to get my first good New Zealand snapper. It was really good to see a few more king wrasse about and seeing a healthy population in this area. It made me feel better about taking a couple. This kingy about 80 centimetres just cruised on past. It was only a few seconds later before this blue moe popped its head out.
Nice blue moe, beautiful fish. That's my first ever blue moe, believe it or not. I've seen them around Sydney, but just haven't had the opportunity of shooting one. Another first. 2 king wrasses and now a blue moe. Your beauty.
It was pretty cool to spot another blue moe about 5 minutes later. This one was around the same size and I wasn't going to touch this one.
Yeah, I got a nice blue moe. There's another one down there, but I'm not going to take him.
Alright, it was lunchtime and we tucked into this nice secluded beach and it was absolutely beautiful. Trevor and Catherine decided to soak in a bit of sun, but I really wanted a snapper, so I dived back in. It was back to creeping over ledges in hunt for a snapper. It was high tide, the water was getting crystal clear and there was a lot of fish feeding. I was just hoping that there was a snapper and I saw from the distance what I thought was a snapper, but it could be a blue moe. So I went down and I didn't know what to expect. So I creeped on over and as I got closer, I saw it was a snapper. And I'm so nervous. This might be the only opportunity I'll get to get a snapper while I'm over here in New Zealand. and I'd finally done it. I got my first New Zealand snapper.
Oh, I did it! Kingfish and snapper in New Zealand. Ticked off, you beauty! Woo!
So I chucked the snapper onto my float line, and it was time to swim back and get it onto the ice.
Let's hope a bronzy doesn't come and eat it. Woo! That moment was sick. Just before I shot it, my heart rate was just going, so excited. I was waiting for it to turn to get a good shot off. Oh, I'm absolutely stoked.
I wanted to get this snapper into the chili bin, so I started heading back. And then, out of nowhere, I feel my gun almost rip out of my hands. Bronzies usually aren't too bad, but when they've got their fins down like this, it means that they're more aggressive. So when he came in to size me up, I wasn't taking any chances, and I gave him a jab to let him know that I wasn't dinner.
I should have made that joke about a bronzy.
So I pull the snapper in a bit closer to me and I can see that half of it's gone. I put it close enough where I'll be able to spot any other bronzies that swim up, but at the same time far enough away in case it comes up for another feed. So there's not much you can really do but just take your time and kick on back. As soon as you speed up or you look stressed, sharks pick up on this and they'll come in closer.
There you go. Good mate, how are you? I got a snapper until the bronzy just then came up and snapped it.
Yeah, there's been a couple of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah. Keep your eye out. About 1.5 meters.
Huh?
2 of them, about 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
Right when I think I've made it back safely, I hear a kid start to yell.
Yeah, it's coming for my snapper. Yeah, look at it.
I look up and there's a dorsal fin coming straight towards my snapper. Or what's left of it anyway.
Look, it's coming for it. That's my snapper. Yeah, it's already eaten half of it. Look at it. There they are, there. It was a good snapper too, Trev. Now it's half a snapper. See the fin? There was 2 of them. One came right up to me and I smashed him with a spear. Drilled him into the side. Got it on the GoPro too, it was sick. Oh well, got my first New Zealand snapper. I don't think it meets the size limit, Trev. That was nuts. I had to run it up the bank. Did you get that on camera?
Well, I was like lying down and Dad was like, yeah.
My snapper!
That was pretty nuts. So I was swimming back in and I just felt my float just start being pulled, and I just knew straight away that it was a shark. And then as soon as I turned, there was another bronzy who was circling me while my float was still being pulled, so I knew that there was at least 2. And yeah, I knew that he'd grabbed a hold of my snapper, but it was just around that point when he came out and smacked it, and yeah, the other one was pretty keen to get up close and have a look at me, so I ended up having to reach out and give him a poke to scare him away, because I know when there's more than one of them, they're a lot more confident. That's the tax man for you. The tax man took half my fish, and that's my tax bill in New Zealand. It was pretty crazy how I had to run it up on shore when it came back for seconds. But yeah, how good's New Zealand? So even with half a snapper, I still ended up with a pretty good bag of fish. So we had our homemade sushi rolls, then we had a bit of a swim before heading back home. Thanks guys, if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate the support. Hit that like button, throw down a comment, let me know what you think of this episode. There is a hell of a lot of effort that goes into making these videos and a lot of time, so if you are enjoying the channel, please give it a subscribe. It'll really motivate me to try and make more videos and keep you guys entertained. Until next time guys, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Alright, let's do it.
Next episode, we go on the hunt for some New Zealand crays, and then we get stuck into the very popular New Zealand butterfish.